What up, what up, what up? It is another episode of Esports with Emrick. We are back because we've got some 4-game slates. We're done with the 2-gamers. The LCK is back, a 4-gamer tonight, 4-gamer tomorrow, and then we're back into the 5-gamers. So, really exciting time. Sorry for being a little bit later in the evening tonight. I was building a desk, and that's why the camera is not up and running because I don't like the position that it's in. My headphone wire comes right through the picture, and it looks silly. It just looks ridiculous. So despite myself looking rather handsome today, it's just not happening. So we're gonna just do kind of a screen share. We're gonna talk about a couple of these games. We're gonna figure out some cash lineups. We're gonna talk about GPP, all that good stuff. First and foremost, we have the 3 a.m. game. We're kicking it off with Damwon Gaming against NS Red Force, Nongshim. This is a game that has a 24.5 over-under. We have seen the LCK games, go a lot longer, but not necessarily have more kills as a result. Damwon Gaming is definitely a team that can score very well, that can put up a lot of kills, but, the thing that really kind of drives them is whether or not the other team is going to push them to do those things. I don't know if Nongshim is the team to do that. I think that, if they do, that this could be a very high kill game. Damwon does project very well. I think, one of the things that you can do is if you do play them in DFS, you can bet the under here. And that way, if things don't work out, it's a low kill game. At least you're getting something back, kind of hedging your bets there. But I do like Damwon to win this series. I think I probably would lay the juice on there and take the 210, go ahead and put like 2 units on it to win 1, kind of take it from there. That might be kind of the course of action that I'm going to take with this game. Next one, we've got KT Rolster versus Hanwha Life. I think it's very well known at this point. My feelings, my disdain, my dislike for one Sam D, and that hasn't changed. I tried to reverse jinx him again in the last series because I did play some Hanwha Life. I don't know what came over me last minute. I decided to throw in a roster. I guess maybe it was sharp, probably not. But they weren't successful in that series, and I don't think they're going to be successful here. KT Rolster is a bigger favorite than Damwon over Nongshim, coming in at minus 240, minus 200 on the maps, and this over-under is 23.5. So this does not project very well. These teams have not had a ton of combined kills. They do have a couple games under both of their belts where they popped off. And, if KT can get 2 15, 16 kill wins, these can be majority team fight. Yeah, maybe this team can actually, put up some points. We'll take a look at the projections for them. As we move over into the LPL, we've got Top Esports against Team WE. Team WE showed some fight, but at plus 370 versus Top Esports, with the Dogs just really not doing it this year. I think that we've only seen 3 or 4 upsets, maybe less than that, maybe only like 2. One of them was against Top Esports, and it was RA. But I just have this feeling that at the end of this split, we're going to look at RA, we're going to look at Team WE, and we're going to know that RA is a significantly better team than Team WE. I like Top Esports in this match. I'm not going to, lay 6 units to win 1. I'm not even sure I want to go 1.5. They just haven't been solid enough. So I'm not sure. Some of the things that we can look at, though, like a First Dragon, minus 175, not interested. First Baron, minus 300. Yeah, it's just, I don't think you can bet any of these. There's no value there. Moving on to the last game, we have LNG and Invictus. Invictus, another big underdog on this slate, like Team WE. Invictus has a couple wins under their belt so far. LNG, started slow in Demacia, but has really pulled it together. Had a couple close calls, but this team seems to be gelling. They're going to be good. Minus 650, I don't want any part of that. Again, minus 1.5. I mean, I think that there's something to be said about going ahead and trying to parlay LNG with the spread, parlay Top with the spread, maybe throw in Damwon on the money line. And you probably get some decent odds if you do something like that. But, hey, look, three-team parlays are not always the smartest move, and I don't think that one would be any smarter. So, do that at your own risk. That's not financial advice. When we look at kind of LNG, they projected really well as the season started, but a 17 kill win against Ultra Prime, a 19 kill win against Ultra Prime. That's kind of the bare minimum of what we're looking for from a team if we're going to be playing them in DFS. Their next game, let's kind of try and find that and just see what that was. Because I don't have them necessarily projecting super, super well based off of what they've done and the stats. And was that their only series? Look, that I might be thinking that they played more games. I feel like they did play 2 games, right? Am I going crazy here? Yeah, they did. Who was the other team that they played? They played RA. They went 2-1 with RA. That's what happened. Okay, all right. So let's go take a look at that. I knew I wasn't crazy. So let's see. I think it'd be right here. No, I'm struggling here, guys. My bad. Here we go. We've got, so lost that first game to RA. Didn't put up a ton of kills. Enough kills in a loss, though. An 11-3 win after that, and then, a 14-14 battle. I think that they should have lost that game, if I recall correctly. That was a pretty big throw on Rare Adams' part. So, this team hasn't necessarily shown that they can put up or that they will consistently put up big numbers. And in this meta, that is something that, we have to have some concerns as these teams start to normalize with the kill totals that they start to put out. When we're looking at, these 4 matchups, obviously the favorites are pretty clear cut. If I was going to pick a dog to kind of upset one of these teams, I think Hanwha Life is my number 1 team that could upset. Nongshim's number 2. And then, I want to say Invictus over WE. It's just that Top has shown just a lack of cohesiveness early in splits. They do get knocked off a little bit before they find their stride. Have they found their stride? Is this WE team one that can knock them off? For my money, I don't think so. I think that Top Esports comes out. They dominate this matchup. Every one of their lanes is better. But, you can be surprised. So let's kind of take a look at what we can run here in cash. A couple options we have. We have Top and Damwon. If we do that, actually, let's just go into the optimizer. Take out the team slot. Let's make it 80% salary. Top 10 lineups that we got here. It's probably too small. You guys can't see it. We've got some 3-3 with the team slot. We got some 4-3. A lot of Canyon captain, some Xiaoping captain. That looks like that's kind of the build, and just how are you going to get a little different there. So the top score, 594.13. If we go with LNG, we're forced to use a support captain. Never too much fun, but definitely something that we can do in cash. But you're looking at 558.87. If we go with KT, 562. That's no good. If we go Damwon LNG, 585. So we're getting a little different right there. Still, we're running Canyon Captain for a couple of those. We don't have a ton of options with the carries. There's 3 lineups right here that you could do without going to a different team slot. And then if you go KT, 538, that's just, it just doesn't make a ton of sense. So I think that's kind of where you want to go, is either Damwon LNG or Top Esports Damwon. Those are kind of the 2 options. You got 4 or 5, really optimal lineups that you can go with in those. In terms of the projections and how they're working out, in a win, they do have either Kana or Nene being 2 of the top scorers. I don't want correlations. So not really digging some of the tops from, Top Esports or Ale or Zoom. Neither of these guys have really put up a ton of points, haven't been participating in a lot of the kills. It's a really small sample, so take that for what it's worth. When we get over here into the jungle, though, Canyon, Zyping, those guys kind of jump out. Canyon has had just phenomenal kill participation in wins, phenomenal kill participation in losses. The one that surprised me with how bad it was, and this is really a lot to do with his kill share, is On Fleek. And another kind of jungler that we've seen, I think, kind of struggle with the current meta being more of a facilitator meta as opposed to carry jungle is Zune. There are a couple guys within the LCS and the LEC that I have concerns for. Closer being one of them. Some of these guys like Contracts, my boy, I think he might have some issues with this kind of champion pool, this meta, and the way that he wants to play. But Zune has really, really been hurt by it. Guys like Canyon, they're just too good. They can play every single type of role. They can play every single type of jungle. Zyping is more of that kind of facilitator, early gank, Rek'Sai, tile, jungle. So this really fits into what he wants to do and what he's able to do well. And I think the same thing can be said about Tarzan. Like he kind of just projects really well, despite some of the numbers that I kind of showed you in terms of LNG and them not necessarily projecting the best. When we take a look at our mids, Shanks is really taken over for WE in terms of being their primary carry. He's a lot like Knight is to Top Esports, that WE team. If they're going to be successful, it does come through him. He is a primary captain that I want when I'm playing WE. And, this is an ADC-centric meta, but Shanks really turned it on at the end of last year and has kind of carried that over here. Even in all of their losses, he's been, it hasn't been because of him. Showmaker always scores well. And then you can see kind of BDD, Donna, Karis as we go down, and Arya being obviously at the bottom. Jackie Love and Decadon, no surprise there. Both of these guys have been absolutely fantastic. Stay on the higher end of things there, light, aiming, Ghost, Sam D. And I used for On, I just used basically the statistics from the previous, basically the way that the team is played. So we don't know necessarily if this number is going to change a little bit. If it does, it's going to have an effect on the rest of the team, I suspect, but just doesn't score very well. And that's probably why they're making a change right there. LNG is another one of those teams that when they do lose, they are pretty conservative about it because they are trying to wait for the right play, the right opportunity. And sometimes that just doesn't lend to really fantasy goodness in terms of getting out there, skirmishing, getting the kills, and everything that goes with that. Support, no surprise here. Just Zhao is always going to be, Zhao is always going to be probably the highest scoring one because he does have that ceiling potential. Certainly has a ton of duds, but just a guy that can put up a ton of points. He's really involved, roams well, even plays kind of guys like Thresh, Nautilus, some of those more engaged tank style supports well enough that he's going to get a ton of assists. Life down there at the bottom. So as you can see, man, like these KT guys just don't have, they just don't project very well. I mean, if I'm playing kind of a KT stack, like a small stack, for example, and I wonder how this is going to play, I would suspect if I did something like this, yeah, that's not even necessarily what I would want. Let's take like a KT Nongshim and see how that kind of plays out. Okay. I don't know. I guess Canna and Rascal, there is a kind of a difference here, but I wouldn't want Life. Life just doesn't do it for me. He doesn't score very well. I get it. Peter's number and his projection isn't great, but if we went to ceiling, so instead of projecting off of a 2-1, we did this. It still projects kind of putting Cousin there, but I thought Rascal would go in. Speaking of that, let's take a look at some of these teams because we were projecting off of 2-1s. Just let me see if 2-2s change anything. I really don't think that they will. Zhao captain still. We're looking at 644. Still kind of a Canyon captain. It's an interesting way, 662. This is going to be another kind of jungle captain. Yeah, with Zoom. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So I don't know. For cash, I think the safe route is top esports and Damwon. If you want to get a little crazy in some of your winner take alls, I think you can throw in LNG over Damwon. Just try and kind of curb the leverage that you can get with that not playing top esports and hope they lose. It's just really risky. It's scary to do that, as they score typically very well and win. So sorry to make this one quick, guys. Like I said, got on this a little later. Thought the desk building would be completed a little bit quicker. Should have known better. I'm not good at those type of things, but I've got it together. Wanted to put out this. We'll try and get out a video a lot earlier tomorrow and go through that. So best of luck. If you have any questions, hit me up on Twitter, hit me up in the Top Esports Discord. We can talk over any of the options for this slate. I'll be up for a little bit while longer before heading to bed, so I can wake up and watch some of these games. But other than that, I will talk to you guys later. Have a good one.